Hey there, YouTube. I thought I'd give you an update today on where we're at on the buggy and everything else that's going on. It's a great day. It's here in the morning, it's like winter, and then in the afternoons, it's like wonderful, beautiful spring. That's how it is here this time of the year. So anyways, let's turn this around and let's get started. Okay, so one of the biggest things I'm doing, one of the biggest projects of the whole entire project is setting up this thing. So I pulled everything off the mock-up motor, put it over here, and I'm setting up for the crank position sensor setup. So this whole entire thing is cranked down, locked in. I even had to put a bolt and a nut to get this perfectly level across here. Mounted this up. That's a piece of all thread going all the way through, and I got a nut down there holding it. And in there is a seal, so the harmonic balancer is pretty much centric and centered. Well, let's hope. Then I started mocking up the mount plate, setting everything up in space. I started doing the bracketry down here. So I got brackets all holding that in. I got those pieces of sheet metal are kind of like shim spacers to mimic spacing off of the cover. And these three boss ends coming off these bolts, like I told you I was planning, that's where we're going to build the brackets to mount to these little pieces down here. Because remember, this is aluminum, this is steel, and steel. Aluminum cannot weld aluminum to steel. I could possibly just get rid of this altogether and build a bracket for this to mount to, but then I lose the adjustability for timing if I wanted to make adjustments. That's probably where it's going to sit. There'll be a big hole drilled right there. It'll be drilled and threaded. Sensor will thread into there, lock it in, and that's going to provide the pickup for the crank position. That's what this is. All of this just to build a bracket. And if I ever needed a reference, if things are going to fit right, I just turn around and look at this. So as I'm working on that, I turn around and look at that. So real quick reference, just to make sure. Every step is double and triple thought and before I commit. So I think about it, I plan it in my head, I rehearse it in my head, I think about it, and if it's good, I'll do it. That's what's going on there. And then as for the shop, we did reorganization. We pulled the Jeep truck out away from the wall, so now I can come back here and start doing insulation. Running more insulation. And I got all this room. So I have a stove that's sitting in the house, an old stove. That stove will go somewhere back here. That'll get hooked up to my panel right there. And that will be boiling parts, cleaning parts, prepping parts with the oven, and maybe even powder coat. And I'm going to start insulating all this up. I started up here, and I got to get this done. We're going to see how the small little AC unit that's over there in the corner will fare and with this building. If not, I have a device I'm eyeing, I'm going to buy online. Okay, let's move on. Buggy. Front drive shaft assembly is on order. So I made a call to High Angle Driveline out of California, just at High Angle. So I put this wood up in here to mimic the first piece of the drive shaft. It'll be a carrier bearing pillow block, probably around here. And then another drive shaft will mount from there, going all the way down to there. We're going to do chromoly because of the limiting of the space. When I was measuring going from here through here and down here, I noticed I was coming real close to the upper link. I didn't like that. I didn't feel good about it. So we chose to go with chromoly to clear it. Went ahead and processed and got that on order. I'll probably get it in maybe 6 weeks. The guy's really busy. He's doing a lot of work for a lot of people. Other than that, we're coming into mowing season. So, you know what this is for. Mowing season en route. I sold the other mower. Let's move on to the wiring. I have everything preset out. All the diagrams. I have everything. And all my notes. I have to call Holly, and we're going to sit down through the phone for probably about 2 hours. In between all my components and everything I'm running, we have to figure out the ignition side of the house. The regular sensor side of the house is done, but now we got to do ignition. That's the crank position sensor. Let me turn this. So that's the crank position sensor, the cam position sensor, the ignition control box, the MSC control box, and what connects to a pre-terminated harness that's already wired into the Terminator X system. So the Terminator X comes with, let me see if I can find it, injectors. I'm looking for it. There's a connection on here. Here it is. Let me turn this around. So this is the ignition piece. Ignition. Okay. Now I have the other connection that goes right here. I have all of that in here, and the connection that's in here and the wiring connects to here, but this is what enables me to hook up to the engine's system of all things and run it into the Terminator, to where both the Terminator X and the the MSD EFI system will communicate and work together. So these two got to talk. And that's what that harness in that box is for. So let me turn this back around. Okay, so we're coming to an end. So that's an update where we're at. We're just, pushing through the mud. I guess you could say that's what they call it, push through the mud. Just don't stop. One step at a time. Don't stop. So other than that, I'll close this out. You all have a great weekend, and I hope you all enjoy it. And share, like, subscribe. Please give me comments. Love you all. Bye.